10 ends to go, I would give England a very good chance if they could score. If they drop 3 or 4 shots here, well, things will look very black for them indeed.
A great bowl from Peter Belliss. He's covering the back. He's content with the number he has on the head, and he's covering any contingency that might come about through a heavy shot from this man on the mat at the moment.
But there's nothing heavy he can play. If he played heavy and got the jack, one would have to say he was lucky. He's better. Oh, very good try. Suffering.
David Bryant gives New Zealand 1. Two
taken out. Will there be a measure? Yes. David Bryant will measure the closest England bowl. 2 out already for New Zealand, remember. There's the measure for New Zealand. The New Zealand bowl. Back he goes to the England bowl. What David Bryant was looking up to Rowan Brassey there, I told you it was only 2. So 2 it is, and New Zealand gain 2 more on the 12th end. New Zealand now lead over England by 14 shots to 3. Belliss straightens the jack on the 13th end. New Zealand, after England has scored last on the 8th end, from there on New Zealand have got singles on the 9th and 10th and the 11th and a 2 on the 12th and lead 14 shots to 3. And there's again that magnificent display of lead bowls by 31-year-old Rowan Brassey.
Yes, Brassey taking everything that David Bryant had to offer in terms of aggression, and he seems to have weathered the storm and has refused to be put off one iota. Superb display of character as well as skill.
Someone the other day called him unfair. He's not fair to play against.
Well, that's right. It shouldn't be allowed.
Second bowl, Rowan Brassey staying with that hand as well he might, and here he comes again. Rowan Brassey has done a David Bryant on David Bryant, because that's the type of bowl that David Bryant likes, the one shading the jack. So from the other end you can't gain your distance, but the old master himself knows pretty well where it is.
Yes, I think you've got to give full marks to David Bryant for playing as well as he has against this incredibly dazzling display from Brassey. Bryant has stuck with it and set up his partner Allcock with chances of conversions, but Allcock hasn't played his usual form today.
Change of hand by Mr. David Bryant, MBE in 1969, CBE in 1980 for his services to bowls, and most unusual Reward was given him by the English Bowling Association. He is a life member of that association. So awards coming thick and fast to this wonderful contributor to the game.
Yes, and I think it's interesting to note that oh, look at that. We're talking about David Bryant's awards. It's Brassey who deserves the award today. Oh, unbelievable.
Well, I'm sure he's overwhelmed Tony Allcock, because Tony Allcock has instructed David Bryant to drive.
Jack through the head, it's a toucher, and now England have the shot. A great hit from David Bryant. New Zealand one down. And Peter Belliss collecting all the debris.
Yes, I was saying just now that the awards that Bryant has received are for playing bowls, and I think he must be the only player to have been given those awards. Normally they're given for administration. And look at this, Bryant firing and getting a result out of it that he didn't really expect, but he'll settle for that, and it was a good bowl.
In New Zealand's favour is the fact that it is the only England bowl around the jack. Although the New Zealand bowls are all now a minimum of about a metre away. We can't see from the angle that we're on whether Peter Belliss can see those bowls, but no, he's drawing on the backhand.
Still 2 to England. If Belliss could see those 2 red bowls, I'm sure he'd want to have a run at them, try to take them out. But there is a New Zealand bowl blocking his path to some extent. Allcock putting the pressure on now. That's a lovely bowl. 3 shots to England.
Yes, that man on your screens at the moment has been regularly hailed as the successor to David Bryant. He's a magnificent player. We really haven't seen the best of him this afternoon, but now is his opportunity to try and get some of those points back for England. Belliss drawing. Well played, Tony Allcock. New Zealand in trouble. 4 down.
It was on the 9th end that England held 5 shots, and Belliss came up with a runner, put the jack in the ditch and scored 1. Just listen to the cheers if he can do it again. Of course, if Belliss does run at this and misses or goes through the gap, he leaves for counting England shots with another Tony Allcock bowl to play. A count here could really put England very much back in the game.
He's running again. Closest shot. That's, he just about got a lucky result. England still have 4. Tony Allcock has a bowl in hand. He's drawn 2, 3 already. There's no reason why he shouldn't draw a 4th.
Well, you said he almost had a lucky result there, Ian, but in a way he was very unlucky finally to go through that gap. You'd have thought he could have taken something out. So, 4 to England, and this the last bowl of the end, to be delivered with care.
Yes, the only mistake that Tony Allcock would make would be to drag the jack back to those 2 waiting New Zealand bowls, but he hasn't done that. Beautiful draw shot, 5 shots England. So after the 13th end in this pairs final at World Bowls, it's New Zealand now leading by 14 shots to 8.
Here's the Belliss shot again. Let's see how many gaps he actually did go through. There it is. He comes off a New Zealand bowl, off another New Zealand bowl, and didn't miss very much by far. Didn't miss by much. And England have stretched out the end. 2-metre mat to about a 6-metre jack. For those of you listening perhaps or viewing this in England, that's yards. Let's call it yards instead of metres.
Now, could this be the turning point for England? They have not really on the card been in the match up to this stage. But now, look at that bowl from David Bryant.
Of course, this is just what England wanted, not just to score a count and come back into the game on, as far as the score is concerned, but to win the jack and to put it up for a full length, which last time they did it did shake the New Zealanders to some extent. Slight advantage to Bryant.